This week on Agent Carter, recreation ties, brain damage, and Rose kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah! Hi, I'm Jackie.
And I'm Dane.
And this week we are going to be reviewing episode 5 of Agent Carter, The Atomic Job. Thank you so much to everyone who has been liking and commenting and subscribing to our videos so far. We actually got a really cool comment on last week's video, if you want to share that.
I will share because it also brings up a pretty good point. ECE Alparslin commented, I just wish that Peggy would align with Whitney and show her the light way or something. Maybe she then could be the first superpowered agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. after its formation, though I doubt it'll go like that. But a girl can hope, no? I agree, sort of.
That would be super cool.
It would, in a perfect world, that'd be great.
It would just be really difficult after the events of this week's episodes.
Yeah. So before we get too in-depth, real quick, as always, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen episode 5 of Agent Carter season 2, go back, watch it, and join us again.
This episode, the tone was much different from the last few episodes we've seen, which is all like action, 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 and advancing the plot and Peggy figuring things out. For like 80% of the episode, it was like slapstick. It was all comedy. It was great. It was fantastic. It was hilarious. And then,
you felt like you were gonna get this like mid-season like break from the drama of being like, we're gonna have some fun with it and give you some lightheartedness.
And things get real
fast
out of like nowhere. Let's talk about some of our favorite people. This week really highlighted Rose, one of my favorites,
or at least gave the first opportunity for her to like shine more than just like, you know, a real quick funny scene. Like they actually put her in the field and proved that she can hold her own.
Yes, she can.
And it was amazing.
So Rose is a badass and she gets her first field mission and she is phenomenal and she kicks ass and it's wonderful to see. Also, we get her interacting a little bit more with another side character,
Samberly,
like the most annoying lab rat.
I mean, they painted him as a dick in the first like 1 or 2 episodes.
The first episode of the season.
Just like the rest of the tone, they needed like comic relief and they needed a reason to have some giggles. So they give you this like kind of almost bumbling scientist character who goes along with them because they need his gadgets, and he's like, I joined the SSR because I want to be in the field. So it kind of gives you a reason to, I feel like, kind of...
Like, he's got his reasons, but he doesn't have to be a dick about it,
I don't think he was a dick, honestly.
I think he was really there to just kind of highlight how awesome Rose is.
Yeah.
And also, there was quite a bit of a focus on Sousa this episode.
Yes, they completely almost, well, not ignored, but like they kind of pushed Wilkes to the side to give you lots of Sousa.
They pushed Wilkes a little further than just the side.
Yeah, they just go stand in the corner and be a ghost.
And then like completely fade
and
from
actually
existence.
Almost fade from existence. No, but Sousa, obviously they're gonna give you a little bit more of the he's engaged.
I'll be honest, I was not expecting him to actually propose ever. My
favorite thing about watching these episodes with you is your just general distaste for Violet and the relationship because you ship Peggy and Sousa so hard.
I don't even dislike her.
No,
she's just wrong for him because he belongs with Peggy, obviously.
According to you.
And like half of Tumblr.
There's another half, and that half is me. So we get a lot more of, him and his like sort of like feelings, and you can just tell by his facial expressions, as everything is going on, that he's still got really conflicted feelings about stuff.
And Violet sees it too.
Yep, it takes, a medical emergency and about 5 seconds for her to be like, well...
Oh, you're still in love with Peggy.
Yeah, that's why you left.
You probably should have said something before you, proposed. beast.
Just like every other character in this show, she's not just some background character who's a plot point who might as well just be talking air. They prove to you like, oh, she's a person. She actually gets it.
With a brain and everything. Like I said, I don't dislike Violet. I just ship Sousa and Peggy more.
Yeah.
We kind of get to see a little bit of you called it a power shift between Whitney and Cal.
The power shifts, I mean, not necessarily like dramatically like it was ever like he was ever in control. But
she let him think that, though.
Yeah, there was obviously this under the surface, like I have to mind my P's and Q's and play the female role, play the housewife, playing the game. Mm-hmm. But then now that everything's out in the open, she can just be like, no, I'm wearing the pants. Literally wearing the pants, because both her and Peggy, the entire episode, fabulous pantsuits, the entire episode.
Loved it.
Loved
it.
Loved it.
Great job, costumers.
Yes. Just seems like this episode, they just wanted to highlight really fantastic pantsuits.
But I just loved that moment at the end between Whitney and Cal. Actually, a couple of moments for me personally. At the end where she says, you know, you watch your tone, as she has her hand not quite on his throat, but it might as well have been. Yeah. Because the threat was there.
Like, anytime her hand goes anywhere near them, they're like, oh God.
But also just that moment near the beginning of the episode where she is like creepily mumbling in her sleep and we can't even tell. And he's just, Cal will never sleep again.
Never gonna sleep again.
Not next to Whitney, at least.
Jarvis gets to stretch his adventure bone by trying to defuse an atomic bomb.
Not trying.
But succeeding in defusing not one, but 2 atomic bombs.
That's just what happens when you wear your recreation tie.
That is. When you...
I love that Jarvis has like a recreation tie. What does that even mean? It must be like a British thing. I don't know.
Speaking of British things, if we can, go into the, unceremoniously mention that Peggy gets, near death impaled and their solution is to lay in bed and have some tea. How more British can you get?
Look, it worked for Doctor Who, okay?
I mean, that's true.
I mean, he has like crazy regeneration sickness and is unconscious half the episode. All he needed was a spot of tea. It fixes everything.
Tea. Who knew? I love that they continued with Jarvis in particular, one of my favorite running jokes.
The running gag.
That just, we learned that there's yet another animal that Jarvis doesn't like. He doesn't like spiders. He doesn't like flamingos. He doesn't like koalas. Just... Please, give me my mini-series of Jarvis having to deal with animals.
Just wrangling them all and hating life.
Speaking of Rose, they have her running gag of constantly having to like put up with the people who think it's a real talent agency and like tapping and like being like a one-man band, and she's just like, oh my God, I'm so over this.
Something else we were talking about after actually watching the episode was that this whole Rose being a badass didn't necessarily come out of nowhere.
No, she is an SSR agent. She's the front of the line. Like, she was in the first season, she was one of the telephone operators.
Right.
And in this season, she's in the front desk of the place where they are. So, like, she's like first line of defense. And Peggy even says the words, she protects us.
There was the idea that maybe she was just like a prop and just a receptionist, but we get to find out this episode that no, she has been trained for field work. She just hasn't been given the opportunity.
Oh my goodness. Developing characters in a Marvel Universe thing?
What?
Everyone is a people?
But we did get to see like a little inkling of that last season when Jarvis just walks into the SSR agency and asks to speak to the chief. And Rose is like under the desk with the gun. Sir, you aren't authorized to be here.
Like, it would have went down.
So we have seen like a little bit of that build up. I am just so happy that they finally get to give her moment.
This episode did have a lot of slapstick, and it did involve some her, mostly Samberly, and like other random things like going into
the Roxxon facility.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about Peggy's moment. Peggy's wonderful comedic moment.
What would a spy TV show be without crazy, like, ridiculous gadgets that do ridiculous things. So of course, she's got a little gizmo that can just erase your memory, but it only goes back like 2 minutes. So she goes and she has to like she needs to get the key or something, whatever she needs, and like she has to constantly like zap him with the memory thing. And what was it, you counted like 6 times?
6 times,
like just one right after the other. And it was definitely for comedic effect, but it was also just really,
but it was beautiful. So now Ray Wise has brain damage,
probably. I mean, that's what they said. That's what happened to poor Jeremy.
Oh, Jerry.
Poor Jerry.
They tested this out on Jerry. No, they didn't. Boom! Runs into a wall.
Oh.
Like, that scene was so great, but it kind of brought up something that I had to ask during the episode, and that is, as a government agent, like, why can't Peggy ever at least pretend to do something legally the first way? Like, she's always breaking into things. I get it's espionage, but like, she could get a warrant.
She goes from 0 to 100 real quick. She's like,
let me just crawl through these vents.
We need to go into this building that we could probably sneak into, like, by going into it. Nope, right through the vents.
Yeah.
Right through the vents.
Like, Peggy, come on. You're not even going to pretend to do things the legal way.
Wait, I need a disguise for this.
I think she just wants to play dress up, honestly.
And use her, like, awkwardly unnatural American accent.
That freaks you out so much.
I don't understand why it bothers me, but it does.
But it just
does. It really does. They had all these slapstick comedic moments, and of course, the shift of the episode definitely, or the tone of the episode definitely shifted, but they proved that there's no character that's like just there for comic relief, just there for romantic interest. Everybody in a Marvel thing is a people.
Yep. Even the side characters.
Even the side characters that you never see again. There's like
they're fully developed.
Exactly.
They have agendas.
In summation, it was focusing more on like the smaller group of people. They gave you a little bit of lightheartedness, kind of like to give us a break from all the drama, but then right back to the drama.
I felt so misled by the first half of the episode because it made me feel so comfortable with the whole episode, and then impaled.
Not really any major cliffhangers.
Well, I mean, there was the whole situation with Wilkes just disappearing.
Yes. Yeah, right at the end of the episode is like, oh no, I'm fading away. Like he's in Back to the Future and they corrected his timeline.
He's being erased.
He's being erased. They look at the photograph. Oh no, Wilkes is gone.
I'm pretty sure that we're going to see him again soon. Like, they wouldn't have spent so much time on Wilkes in general if he's just gone forever. So I think something very important to the plot and probably to stopping Whitney is going to happen while he is wherever he is right now that we just can't see. The first little bit of the episode where they kind of like show you what happens to him with Zero Matter and like comparing it to her, they're almost like opposite ends of a magnet, like when it comes to Zero Matter. So maybe like the key to defeating her is him, or the key to bringing him back to life is her, or something like that. You know what else we're gonna get to see though? Scenes from The Next Agent Carter will apparently be very, very Dottie heavy. I'm super excited to see if she can work with Peggy, if she's going to just completely betray Peggy. They're taking it in a really interesting direction, like almost the opposite of what we thought was going to happen. Completely opposite, so we were wrong. So I'm excited to see if she's actually going to work with her or double cross. Yeah. What do you think? If there is a double cross, I feel like it won't be in like the whole, like the one episode. Maybe they'll do like a, we need you for this, and then they use her. And then something happens down the line. Again, we're only halfway through the season. Right. Which is weird to say. Which is incredible because so much has happened. We're only halfway through the season. It has so many different directions it can go. There's plenty of opportunities to continue to surprise us, but I'm really looking forward to seeing it unfold. All I know is that it's going to be fun to watch, regardless of how it goes down. Exactly. So let us know if you guys have any theories, what you think is going to happen to Wilkes, how it's going to play out with Dottie. If you have any theories, any comments. How you felt about the characters being developed, and who you'd like to see more of. Anna Jarvis. Anna Jarvis. Bring back Anna. Bring back Anna, bring back Bernard. And yes, I'm going to bring back the flamingo because every time. So thank you again for watching. Make sure you watch next week's too. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe right down there somewhere. So we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.